The Super Speedway Podcast is a Dream Bigger media production. For news, photos, show notes, and information about advertising on the podcast, visit www.thesuperspeedway.com.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Super Speedway.
White flag here. If we can get him, great. If not, still a hell of a night. Keep it clean. Sorry, guys.
Keep going, it's got.
Keep going. Randall boys, everyone. Great car, great stop. Proud of all y'all.
Go, it's the last lap, dog.
Go. All right, Jesus. All right, now you're done. Good job, man. Way to drive tonight, P4.
Great job, Oil Buddy. Great job, everybody, all night long.
Sorry about that, guys. At least we didn't lose a spot.
Welcome to episode 158 of the Super Speedway Podcast, recorded Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. I'm your host, Eric Young. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, at least I wasn't on the wrong lap.
Yeah, that sounded like me when I'm riding and my wife is driving. Like getting onto the highway. Just go, dog.
Yeah, so Tyler Reddick miscounted the laps and thought it was the Homestead 499 or 399 or whatever the heck this weekend.
Yeah, that was great. I sent that to you guys when I first saw it, and it's made the round since. But
Yeah.
I sent it to you and Todd in our messaging, and I was giggling because I hadn't seen it. And I was like, oh, man, because we were all so high on Tyler Reddick because he ran such a great race. And I just thought, oh, man, if he would have lost like 10 spots because of that, Todd would have lost his mind.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. So that was great.
It'd have been so good. So, yeah, back at it this week. We've got two races to review, one that mattered and one that really didn't. We'll start with the good one, James. We'll start with the Dixie Vodka 400 from Homestead Miami Speedway. Denny Hamlin gets the win, holds off charge from Chase Elliott at the end to take the victory. That's what, Hamlin's third of the year.
Third of the year. Yep.
And so I found it interesting that Chase had some trouble with Joey Logano in the closing laps, and Logano said after the fact that was on purpose. What do you think of that?
Yeah, he raced him hard multiple times because he got into him about 3/4 of the way through the race too, and shoved him out of. I think he was coming out of turn 2 or heading into turn 3, and shoved Chase. So yeah, he was giving him the business, which I'm totally fine with. I like it.
So here's the thing: I'm totally fine with it too, except that Logano was going 2 laps down.
Yeah.
At that point, just it's not your day, man. Now,
Yeah, but
I'll give it to Logano. This is not a case like we're going to talk about Denny Hamlin and Corey LaJoie in a bit. This is not that type of case where this is somebody that never races around the other person. These guys race around each other, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. When you're 2 laps down, get out of the way.
If
of the
Chase
leader.
Elliott handles his business the way driver etiquette says he should, he wouldn't have had a problem with Joey Logano. But he handled it. He chose to handle it the way he did at Bristol, and he's got what's coming to him.
Yeah.
So maybe now they're even. I don't know, but I mean, I have no problem with how Joey raced him, and if he continues to race him that way, that's fine.
I mean, he got loose at Bristol and took both of them out, and all he did was not apologize.
He made a bad move.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't do it. He didn't try to wreck Joey.
No, but he didn't handle it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could have handled it in the moment. Joey Logano has learned those lessons before. Now he's doling them out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
just handle it. Just go talk to the guy and say, "Hey, man, I screwed up. Own it." And then you don't have to worry about it. Joey would probably let it go.
Of all the people to dole it out, is Joey really the one who should be doling it out?
No, probably
Don't
not.
get me wrong. I love this. I want to see these guys feud all season long. Let's keep
this is
it
what
up.
we want. No, this is what we want.
Yeah.
I like this. I hope I keep escalating it. I hope it escalates again.
I like the fact that we've got some feuds going right now. It's
Chase Elliott's
so
poking.
we need.
Chase Elliott's like a scab on everybody's arm.
Yeah.
And they're all picking at him, and it's fine. It's good, and he's an irritant, which is I like too. So this is all.
And he's
this is all
embracing
good
it a
stuff.
little bit. He's getting a little mouthy. It's helping the fact that he's a fan favorite, so he's still getting the cheers.
Yeah.
But
Well, when you have as good of a car and as good of a team as that team is right now, you can be chesty and you can peacock around, and that's fine.
well, unless you're Joey Logano, in which case you can't.
Well, yeah, and
because...
then nobody allows Joey Logano to peacock, exactly.
Or Kyle Busch.
Or Kyle Busch. Nobody wants to see Denny Hamlin peacocking either. But
No.
yeah. With Chase Elliott can.
Yes.
He can. It's fine.
Yeah. Chase Elliott has the Stone Cold Steve Austin syndrome that no matter what he does, people are still going to cheer him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because he keeps going after Vince McMahon. Because that's the Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. I mean, those are the guys you want to.
Yeah, whenever WWE tried to turn Stone Cold or The Rock heel was just hilarious because it never worked.
No. And Chase Elliott could never be a heel, just like Dale Jr. could never be a heel.
Right.
They're just not easy heels.
So let's talk a little bit about Homestead. We had some talk last season when we found out that Homestead was not going to be the final race of the year. There was some concern amongst us that maybe Homestead, we think Homestead's such a great track because it's the last race of the year and so much is on the line. But I don't know about you, James, but I think that we proved this weekend that that's not the case. The Homestead is just a good track.
Isn't that a great racetrack?
It's so good.
Man, that was great racing.
So I have a theory, okay? Come follow me along on this one. So Homestead's a great track. We've done this progressive banking and stuff everywhere or other tracks, and it just doesn't work right. But for some reason, Homestead, it worked from the very beginning. The first time they were on that new asphalt, on that progressive banking, it worked, and it was a great track. What is it about Homestead that's different? So here's my theory. Homestead's an oval.
A true oval.
It's a true oval. So we look at Michigan. Michigan is a D shape. You look at all the 1.5 mile tracks. They've got that tri-oval. I mean, New Hampshire's terrible, but New Hampshire's a flat track, so that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Atlanta used to be great when it was an oval, and I think it's been terrible since it's not been, other than the fact we've had good finishes a few times, and especially in the early years at Atlanta. But I think it's gotten worse since they got rid of the oval design. Is there something about the oval design that makes for better racing?
The consistency of entry points, it's being a true oval where, that might be something to do with it, where you're not coming through that tri-oval into turn 1 and then you're doing something completely different going into turn 3.
Maybe.
I mean, you might make a point. You might have a point there.
And maybe it has to do with the setup of the cars. I don't know, but just something. And I mean, I'm really grasping at straws here because we don't have a lot to compare it to. We basically have Atlanta and Homestead to look at it with.
For some reason, the way that track is laid out, whether it's the banking or something, it allows drivers to search around and find lines and the stuff we've liked from the older days of NASCAR.
Yeah.
But man, if you can ride the rim, that is such an advantage, and that's the thing. Not everybody can do it.
There is nothing greater than watching somebody run that close to the wall every lap. So,
Tyler Reddick is. I mean, I don't know. Kyle Larson was really good at it, but man, watching Tyler Reddick, he looked like he was on it every lap. It was crazy.
I'll go one further. Did you watch the Xfinity races this weekend?
Yeah, I watched the highlights of it. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, most of it.
There was nothing more fun. I mean, you need to just go, and if you have a recording of it, just go watch like the midpoint of the race and just watch Noah Gragson. He was up there. So much fun to watch. He was sideways. He was rubbing the wall. Those composite bodies work so good for running the wall because they don't flatten a tire as soon as you touch it. Yeah. Man, we're jumping all over a little bit here, but Noah Gragson, man, dominated.
It was a great weekend of racing at Homestead. Like, there was 4 races at Homestead, and they were all pretty dang good for different reasons. Like, watching Kyle Busch
dominated.
The truck race come from, he just came, he had a long start, but came out of nowhere like he did. It's fun watching Kyle Busch come from the back.
Right.
And then Chase Briscoe had a hell of a weekend.
Yeah.
He came back from 7 down in the first race, and he won the second race. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
Noah Gragson had 2 races stolen from him from late race cautions. I feel so bad for that kid because he dominated both races.
Fantastic. That first race was fantastic. Yeah. When Harrison Burton, looked. Yeah. I mean, credit to iRacing a little bit, but when Denny Hamlin won that iRacing event at the beginning of quarantine, that finish with Harrison Burton looked a lot like that.
Yeah.
A lot like that finish. So that was pretty cool.
I'd feel really bad for Noah Gragson if he didn't already have a couple wins this season, because
Yeah, he'll be fine.
he got hosed there, but not by anybody. I mean, they weren't fluke NASCAR cautions. They were cautions that were legit. So
yeah.
all right, back to the Cup race. I think overall excellent racing. That track is spectacular. I wish we ran there twice a year. There's not many tracks I'd say that about, but it's great. I think the only thing that would help that track is the same thing that I've said with everything else, is if you took 100 miles off that race, it'd be even better. But
I don't even know if that's the case for that race. That
it's
was
a 400-mile
really good.
race. 400's almost in the sweet spot.
Yeah, that was. I mean, Eric, it was
a great
good.
race.
If we're talking intermediate track racing, and as bad as it can be sometimes, that was about as good as you get.
Right.
I mean, that was
the only
without it being the championship.
I do want to clarify, the only other problem with the 300-mile mark that I would like to see our races hit is that with the stages, it creates an issue, because I do think that that pit stop strategy for the Cup Series is needed in each stage. I don't think it works if you can go a whole stage without pitting like you can in the Truck Series.
Well, you have to maybe look at eliminating stage 2 and just splitting the race.
That or make this 3 stages even instead of having one be twice as long as the other 2. But there's ways to go around it. But but I still think 300 miles is the sweet spot. But yeah, the only thing I guess you could be disappointed with that race is if you really like wrecks, which I like a good crash every now and then. We didn't have that. But it was without that, it was a phenomenal race. It was excellent.
Yeah, it was just great racing. I mean, I don't know, that's NASCAR racing. That's really good stuff. I mean, I really enjoyed that.
And Homestead has delivered no matter what the package is.
Yeah,
it just always delivers.
Yep, always.
I mean,
there's not very many stinkers in the history books at Homestead.
No, I think the last Cup race that I was disappointed with at Homestead was last year's Chase race, and it wasn't a bad race.
Yeah.
I mean,
look at some of the finishes. You go back to probably Keselowski's championship. That one wasn't even that was probably the last one that was like, that's okay Homestead finish, because we weren't.
And I mean, part of it now is the asphalt. We've got old asphalt there, which is great.
Yeah.
But like I said, when they paved this place, it was great. And this is something for all these other tracks to look at. I mean, I realize that they're all owned by like 3, companies now.
It's 3 companies.
But it's something to look at, that when a track sucks, fix it. I mean, this track went through 3 iterations. There was the original one, which I thought was pretty exciting, but also hurt people, with the rectangle version. And then they flattened the corners out and made a big New Hampshire, which was so bad. And then they put the banking in. And since then, this place has been just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been good. The Las Vegas learned their lesson too, because it was flat, and they've had better racing since they've banked it. So
Las Vegas definitely is better banked. It's still, I mean, it's
dangerous. It's as dangerous for the Indy cars now. But I mean, that was one major incident. But anyway, I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. You can massage these tracks when you can. Make them better. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. What else to talk about with this race? Ryan Blaney had a pretty good day, led 70 laps.
Yeah, that was got to be disappointing for them, because I know we had the 10-week gap in this season, but he's had a couple of these races where he probably was the better guy. But Denny Hamlin kind of cleared him at one point, but that was a really good run for Blaney. Regardless, he's. Like I say, he's probably a little disappointed, but
he's knocking on the door. Right. He's been knocking on the door all season. Yeah, he's
going to break through. He's going to break through eventually here. He's got to. He's running too good. The car's too fast.
Yeah, I joked at the beginning when he was running up front in our messages that, how's Blaney going to throw this one away? Because they've. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what they've done, is they've found ways to lose races this year, and easily could have 4 or 5 wins. Easily.
Yeah, he could have swept early in the season, the first 3 races. Yeah, he didn't throw this one away.
Right, no.
Denny Hamlin took it, but early on, absolutely. He looked like a world beater. I agree with you. Yeah, he was looking good.
Tyler Reddick, we talked about him, finishes 4th.
Yeah, he's just been awesome. We talk about him every week.
He had a race-winning car. If things just would have went right, he had a race-winning car.
Yeah, he got flummoxed on the restarts. I noticed where that you saw the inexperience there a little bit compared to what these guys do. But that was the only differentiator as far as flatline speed. Like, he was coming late in the race. I mean, he was. you were watching the ticker and he was going from 2.4 to 2 to 1.8 to 1.4. Like he was gaining. And then, once he got to Blaney, he couldn't get around him. But yeah, man, that was fun to watch. I was really pulling for him to see if he could make a charge. Just ran out of time.
At what point is he starting to put pressure on Austin Dillon? I mean, Dillon finished 7th at Homestead.
Dylan had a
so
great
Dillon had a
race.
great day too, but
Dylan has not been bad this year. He's definitely improved, but he is not the top dog on that team.
no, he's been exceeded by a rookie.
Yeah, there's got to be. Yeah, when the rookie comes in and is outperforming you, even if you are having a better year like Austin is, it's still kind of shocking.
Not
Austin
only
should be
that, but
running
a
better.
rookie who was ranked below the other rookies.
Yeah.
I mean, which maybe that was our mistake because Tyler Reddick came in with 2 Xfinity championships.
Yeah, we should have known better.
I mean,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
we automatically counted him up because of the team he was going to. But I think even if you were to stick him and Bell and Custer all in Joe Gibbs racing cars coming off of last season with Joe Gibbs Racing doing so good, we still would have assumed Bell would be the top dog, right?
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah,
probably
I think
Bell,
we were all
Custer, and
pretty high
Reddick.
on Bell. Yeah.
I think
And we
I would put Reddick 3rd anyway. So I don't.
Yeah.
Even knowing
think-
what we know now, I wouldn't change. But
Yeah, I think
we were
we look
wrong.
at the higher ceiling sometimes, and Christopher Bell's a down the road higher ceiling guy. Tyler Reddick's more of that. He's plug and play.
Right.
He's ready to go. He came into this ride ready to go.
Right. Well, and
And
I
he's
mean,
Done well.
Xfinity and truck success does not make a cup
No, it doesn't always translate,
winner.
right?
You know, I
Right.
mean, we've had plenty of guys that have done excellent in the Xfinity series that have come up to cup and struggled, and vice versa. I mean, the greatest
Yeah.
example ever is Jimmy Johnson. He was nobody in the Xfinity series.
Yeah.
You know, he drove
Yeah,
an
and-
underfunded car too, but he was nobody.
Right, and we're watching William Byron go through that right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Yeah, he's still trying to figure it out.
Yep. Speaking of him, 9th place finish for him, so decent. Christopher Bell, we mentioned, 8th place finish for him. Who else? Anybody else worth mentioning here, James?
I was surprised we didn't see Alex Bowman around. He didn't really have a noticeable day.
Yeah, he was up toward the front. You know, I was listening to Moody. He was running in like top 10 at the end of the race, and then all of a sudden just dropped 18th.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen long enough to find out what happened because Moody was questioning it. So,
Right.
but
And,
yeah,
Matt Kenseth continues to he's struggling.
yeah,
It's not been good since that first Darlington race. He's just been mired in the back
yeah.
since. So I'm getting close to told you so situation here, Eric.
I mean, that's true, but Kurt Busch finished 17th.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that team might not be there, but yeah, Matt Kenseth's not elevating
No,
that team.
he's
Or
not.
we didn't expect him to elevate the team anyway.
but here's the thing: he's not elevating his team, but is he elevating Kurt Busch's team? Kurt's talking pretty high about, and I mean, Kurt's being the teammate, and that's what he's supposed to do. But Kurt's talked pretty high about what Kenseth has brought. So maybe, I guess we watch Kurt and see if Kurt starts doing better.
Kurt went from being the second driver on that team to the A driver.
True.
The number one driver because of this.
That's
so,
true. That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. A grain of salt there, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, maybe. And I mean, like I said, he could just be politicking.
Yeah,
So.
a little bit of that.
Quinn Hoff caused a crash on pit road.
We could
Yeah,
talk
Quinn
about Herbert
Hoff
Martinsville, too.
destroyed Joey Logano's day, actually.
Yeah, Quinn Hoff's got problems. I don't know.
Yeah.
That team getting rid of Landon Castle for what they're getting now is.
Oh, my
I mean,
God.
they deserve it. They deserve it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Sorry about that. I mean, not to be too super harsh. I mean, that sounds really bad, but seriously,
Yeah.
like you get what you deserve.
We did have nice lengthy lightning delay and rain delay.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did forget about that.
Pretty much, I'll tell you what, guys. We only have the schedule figured out through the end of July. Let's take a look. Maybe mid-July, if there's like a drought somewhere in the country, and if there is, let's schedule a race there because I guarantee you NASCAR is going to bring some
Yeah,
rain.
put it on a Wednesday too.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 hour and 8 minute red flag for weather.
Yeah.
And then another 38 minute and 43 second rain delay or weather delay. The first one had rain, the second one did not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's June in South Florida. Who knew it was going to rain?
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
It pretty much rains every evening in South Florida. and
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. You can't
So,
escape it. Yeah.
Whatever.
Like racing in Seattle.
Yeah. You know, I think what it is Mother Nature just decided that Homestead should be a night race, guys. And so quit trying to run it during the day.
Yeah. You gotta get the race started faster because you get the vortex going and then everything's fine.
So here's the thing. Like I understand the whole hot slick track better for racing. But I'm sorry. I just prefer night race, James. I just like
Homestead,
night races. No, everywhere.
Yeah.
I like night races. I just do. And
You don't
maybe
have to apologize. It's okay.
I mean, I would prefer, I guess I would prefer a crappy night race at Richmond than a day race with a little bit more passing because they slide around. Just like a night race.
Right.
So I always look forward to the night race. I always look forward to the night version of races, the tracks that run two different ones. So
Yeah, I like. I mean, heck,
I also like watching a race at night. I mean,
I liked watching I mean, we're going to talk about it in a minute. I liked watching Martinsville Under the Lights.
Yeah.
You know, I'm good with all that. And
well, let's
Bristol,
talk about it. Is there any point? Do we have anything else on Homestead? Let's move to
No,
Martinsville.
great race. We got a lot of stuff to get to on this episode.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we
I'm
probably should get rolling.
Yeah, I'm good if we keep moving. But
All
yeah,
right.
great race at Homestead. Sad that we're not coming back. Look forward to being back next year.
Yeah. Martinsville was a snoozer, in my opinion. James disagrees. He thought it was a decent race.
I didn't say it wasn't a snoozer. I said it was fine. I think where you and I come together on this is you can't run a 500 lap race at Martinsville on a Wednesday.
No.
You got to slim that bad boy down. It was too long of a race to run on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I think
That's my only.
I think the Wednesday night experiment has failed, by the way.
No, I don't think so.
I do, because the ratings have been bad. They've been bad.
Yeah.
This race was the the worst, like the third worst rated race since like 2004 or something like that.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
It was.
I'm not
making it
mind.
up. I'm not Fox News.
No,
I don't make stuff up,
I'm not
James.
saying you're not making up the rating. I don't know if it's a complete failure compared to. Listen, you get more opportunity to watch TV on the weekends when you've got nothing going on than you do on a Wednesday.
Right, but what's the point?
You're
is
not-
to get better ratings, right? It's not like there were so
Not
many. It's not like there were so many
necessarily, no.
people there that they didn't tune in on TV.
It's not the overall number of people, Eric.
I want this to work. Just to be clear, I want Wednesday night races. I want weeknight races. Very much so.
Yes.
Very much so. I do agree, though, that, as you said, I'm definitely at the same point that 500 laps at Martinsville on a Wednesday night
too
is
long.
too much.
Yeah, it's too long. If you're gonna do Wednesday night racing, you got to make it shorter, 300-mile max.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, this was a 250-mile race. It's a half-mile track.
Well, yeah,
But-
I know it's the 500 lap.
Yeah.
When you're talking Bristol and Martinsville, consider it 500 miles.
Yeah,
even
this
though
should
it's
be
not.
300
It's
a 300 lap race for sure.
Yeah, you got to bring it down.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
just think
I wanted better,
Eric?
and it's not a good example because they're running these on Fox Sports 1.
I was just gonna say thank you. They are running, and Fox is not doing themselves any favors putting these races on Fox Sports 1.
They also aren't giving us crap for pre-race. They aren't giving us crap for post-race. Not that that's going to bring
There's
more
no lead-in.
viewers.
Yeah.
But they also are. Fox is just it. Don't get me started on Fox.
Fox Sports 1 is not where these races should be,
No.
especially right now when there's nothing on TV.
Exactly.
Put them on Fox proper.
Right.
Don't leave. I've already griped about this enough. I'm not going to go into it very longer.
Did you
Much
notice
longer.
that we didn't get a past race played during the rain delay at Homestead?
I
know
was
why,
busy
right?
doing stuff. I didn't. No, I didn't.
Because
I don't.
Fox hasn't covered the Homestead race.
Oh, that's true.
They
Yeah,
couldn't
it's their
play
first
an old
trip.
race. That's NBC's
Oh.
broadcast.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So they had to show other crap because they didn't have a race to show.
Oh, I watched the Davey Allison.
yes,
stuff,
the Davey Allison thing was really
yeah,
good. By
That
the
always
way.
makes me emotional, and
Yeah.
it's awful. But it's a great piece. But
Yeah, the Davey Lives On one got me. That
did
one.
we mention Martin Truex Jr. won?
No, we probably should mention the Martin Truex Jr. one. It's his first win since Cole Pearn left the team.
Yeah.
I can't remember his new crew chief's name, but his voice is awesome on the radio. I'll tell you.
Small.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Australian accent on the radio. That's just spectacular.
Yeah, I didn't expect Martin Truex. I wasn't sure what was going to happen without Cole Pearn, but Martin Truex. I mean, that team's good.
And
I think we're.
you know
underrating
what,
them.
James? I think the driver's good too.
He's a good driver. I mean, Eric. He's elevated.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, he's not Kyle Busch, but he's a good driver.
No, he's the third best driver on that team, which is weird because he's a champion. But
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good team. That's a strong team.
Let's put
Copeland
it
left
this
him in
way: he
good
is
hands.
not out of place in a Joe Gibbs racing car.
No, he's going to be fine. He's
Yeah.
going to make a playoff run. Whether
Yeah.
that's to the round of 8 or round of 4. I don't know. I wouldn't expect them to make it to Phoenix this year, but
you
they're going to
wouldn't you
be.
wouldn't be shocked if Martin Truex Jr. won another championship, right?
No.
I mean, it
no.
wouldn't shock you. You're not expecting it, but it wouldn't shock you.
No, without Cole Pearn, I think it's a harder road. He was just
I don't know.
so
I've
good.
quit betting against Martin Truex Jr. because I bet against him last year when he switched to JGR.
I will say though, one win will erase a lot of bad. In this season, he's had some weird stuff happening. So this one win really erases a lot of that. So let's see what he does moving forward. But yeah, he's fine. That team's going to be fine.
Yep. Bubba Wallace gets an 11th place finish. Great battle with Jimmy Johnson at the end of the race. Black Lives Matter card. Bubba's biggest race of his career, he said beforehand.
That's what he said. Yep.
Very cool. Sounds like between the Black Lives Matter thing and the fact that he's been outspoken on the whole, all the stuff that's been going on in the country, and the fact that he made the push for the Confederate flag to be dropped, and that happened. Bubba's supposedly they're getting sponsorship requests at Richard Petty Motorsports, which is awesome. Just great for Richard Petty Motorsports. That's a team we need in NASCAR, James. We've discussed this before. We need that team.
Around.
We need that driver.
Yeah, no, Bubba's been, we gushed about him last week. I don't know how much more we can talk about him. I feel like we left it all out on the table.
Yeah, we did.
I thought our episode last week was so good talking about this.
Yeah.
But with Bubba, I am baffled by his leadership in a good way. I should say baffled in a good way because I didn't see it coming from him. But he continues to run with it and he's not backing down. And I mean, you got to love that.
Yeah.
If you don't, you've got a problem.
Well, and he talked a little bit too about the Blue Emu thing with iRacing and how that all transpired. And I want to say that, I kind of criticized him, and I backtracked on it a little bit when we talked about it in that episode, but I criticized him a lot for that. And I was wrong in that whole deal. Blue Emu screwed up on that deal.
They did.
They lost a great sponsorship opportunity, and I kind of hope they come back to him and ask him to sponsor him again, and he says no.
Yeah, I would too. I hope they already have.
Yeah.
No, we were. Remember, I think we were both like I can't remember. I know I said a couple of times it's a video game. What are we getting so worked up about? But Blue Emu looks dumb.
Yep.
With it for that, so that's good. I always like the egg in the face response.
Yep. Good deal.
Yep. I'm happy with that.
Let's see. Martinsville really quick before we move on. Anything else that jumps out? Jimmy Johnson had a decent run on the day. Finally won a stage, James.
He won his first ever stage, led 70 laps.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Let's see.
Joey Logano should have won this race, by the way. He
dominated this thing.
Dominating. But Martin Truex Jr. was no joke either, so it was between those two guys.
Another race where Blaney was there, yep.
Yeah, another Blaney. The Penske guys, they figured out they are good at these short tracks, man.
Yeah.
Second, third, and fourth for the Penske guys. And then DiBenedetto was 7th.
One more call out to Austin Dillon. So Austin has the tire go down in the first lap of the Martinsville race. Basically gets carbon monoxide, and it was really hot at Martinsville.
Yeah, he gave her hell.
Ends up having to come out of the car early. Goes back home. His wife gives birth the morning of the Homestead race.
Yeah.
And he flies back to Homestead to run in that race and finishes in the top 10.
Yeah, good week.
Good deal, Austin. I made the comment earlier about is Tyler Reddick putting some pressure on him, but damn,
that was enough pressure. Yeah, he had enough pressure without any of that. But
you can't question his heart and his drive.
He named his son Ace, and that is a great name. Ace Dillon, fantastic. It's gonna be a good race car driver.
Yeah,
I like
great
that.
One.
Yeah,
great one.
Yeah.
Eric Almirola, what happened to him? Oh, he had a battery issue.
He had a battery
33rd.
issue. He did rebound at Homestead. He did have a good run at Homestead, so he was fine.
I'm trying to think what else jumped out. It just wasn't much.
There
Denny
wasn't a lot
Hamlin.
going on.
Denny
Harvick
Hamlin
struggled.
was terrible in this race.
Harvick struggled 2 races in a row. He struggled at Martinsville and at Homestead. He just was out to lunch both races.
Yeah.
Did not run good. Kyle Busch, a weird 19th place finish for him.
Yeah. Both Kyle and Denny were just terrible.
Yeah.
And they were bad off the start, and they got down a lap and just never recovered.
Yeah.
So, I think that's about it.
Yeah, there's not much more. The big news out of Martinsville was what happened right before the race, and then we had a race.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's the best thing we could say.
Yeah, there you
about
go. Definitely. All right, let's jump into some discussion. Let's hit that real quick since we're on the topic, James.
Yeah, let's do it. We didn't talk about. I mean, this came out we recorded last Tuesday, Eric.
Yeah,
and then the news happened.
and
on
I
Wednesday.
believe we called for it last week.
Yeah, it was coming. You could feel it.
So NASCAR makes the decision to ban the Confederate flag. I don't know that we need a whole lot of discussion on this. I think it's a great decision, and there's just no place for it at the track.
I have seen such. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I have seen such great discussion in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan McGee wrote an all-time piece. If you haven't seen that, just look him up. Go to ESPN or go to his Twitter feed. Eric, I don't know if you read that piece.
No, I didn't.
I had no idea that Ryan McGee is a descendant of slave owners, and he wrote just an incredible piece. Eric, you wrote a piece. I read.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Well done.
Thanks.
I listened to some podcasts. Marty Smith had the grandson of Wendell Scott on, and he had Brad Daugherty on, and just really intelligent, high-level discussions about why that flag needed to go from the people that it affected.
Yep.
And yeah, there's no reason to have it, and it's gone. And thank you to NASCAR, Bubba Wallace, Jimmy Johnson for your leadership. I thought there's been some great stuff this last week, and really showed. I know NASCAR. Part of this is NASCAR taking a little bit of an opportunity and running with it, right?
Oh, yeah,
there's a little bit of that, but it's also about doing the right thing. And I don't want to hear people say, "Well, you should have been doing this years ago." Of course, that doesn't have to be said, right?
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, we made this. This is a monumental change for NASCAR to get rid of the flag.
Let's do it for NASCAR. Within a week, we had the demonstration at Atlanta. We had NASCAR official, kneeling during the anthem. We had NASCAR remove the language from their pre-race handout that says that you can't demonstrate during the national anthem. We had NASCAR recognize Pride Month. We had NASCAR recognize the Black Lives Matter movement and support it. We had a Black Lives Matter car, and we banned the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
I mean, this is awesome.
Eric, if Brian France is in charge right now,
oh my God, none of this happens.
This is all about having.
If Brian France is in charge right now, the next race has the Confederate flag on the logo.
Absolutely. This is about having the right leadership at the right time to make the right change.
Yep.
And Steve Phelps and his entire team and everybody at NASCAR deserves kudos for that, because we went from having Donald Trump at the Daytona 500, and that's great and that's cool. We can have the president and we can do that stuff. I have no qualms about that. But if you're somebody who looks at the politics of this, which I don't,
right,
it's a complete 180, right?
Yeah,
we went the complete opposite way.
I had somebody make a comment about the fact that this was all a political thing.
It's not. It's not.
And they brought reference to Trump at the Daytona 500 and said that wasn't political. That was, and I'm like, hold on a second, pump the brakes.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. I thought, and we talked about on this podcast, I thought Trump pacing the field, as corny as it was awesome. I thought the command to start engines with the flyover above him was just the coolest thing, except that Fox botched it and didn't show it on TV. I thought it was great, and I won't get too political, but not my thing. But I thought it was excellent. But if you think that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, in an election year, pacing the field, the Daytona 500 is not a political move, you're crazy.
It's a campaign move, man.
Exactly.
Campaigning.
In front of his base. I mean, come on. That was 100% political. But I'm fine with it. I don't care. Go for it.
Yes.
Do it.
That's fine. It didn't deter from our experience.
No, exactly.
Of NASCAR. And
now, if Trump decides that he's going to stop the race in the middle and stand on pit road and give a speech, then yeah, I'm going to be upset with that. But no, it didn't interfere. It was just part of.
And you know what, Eric? All the stuff NASCAR has done this week ain't interfering with a damn thing.
Nope.
Because it's the right thing.
Exactly.
And it's not taken away from your racing. And if you are a Confederate flag waving person, more power to you. Keep it at your house.
Yep.
You don't have to have it at the track.
Yep. NASCAR didn't say you can't fly it in your yard.
Yeah. Just don't bring it to the track.
Yep.
This is not. Marty Smith said this, and I've seen it circulate around. This is not NASCAR closing the door on you. It is opening the door for everyone.
Yep.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
100%.
I mean, that was exactly what NASCAR did.
Completely agree. Completely.
Love it. Yep.
All right, let's talk about the big thing. We got our Hall of Fame announcement this week. We have 3 new drivers nominated to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Let's go through them. We'll do them in the order they were announced. First was our Pioneer nominee, which was Red Farmer this season.
Old Red.
Yep, Red's
Still
been
driving.
on.
He's racing this weekend.
88 years old, still racing.
Racing at Talladega this weekend on the dirt track. Yep.
Yep, and Red has been on the ballot for a long time. Finally gets in. Red was in the helicopter with Davey Allison, was he not?
Yeah, he was.
I believe he was.
He was there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Part of the Alabama gang. As somebody, I don't think I've ever watched Red Farmer race, but as somebody who's a fan of the Alabama gang and the Allisons and whatnot, Red Farmer's a big part of that history, and so big applause for Red Farmer. He was on NBC, interviewed the night that he was named, and very cool to see Red get the nomination. So
yeah, that's a great one. I told you before, I've seen Red race at Eldora a couple of times.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. He's a living legend, man. He's gonna race until his last days.
Yep.
He's just out there doing his thing. And when I saw him get elected, I thought the next person on our list would have to wait, but that was not the case.
Yeah. Mike Stefanik gets the nod this year. He was the next in line last year. He just missed the vote last year. Passed away this past year. I think I wanted him to end. I was hoping that he would get the nod. I actually hoped he got it last year.
Great guy.
But was skeptical whether he would get it or not. But very cool. We've talked about it on the podcast here before. If you don't know who Mike Stefanik is, there were a lot of people that were watching the old Bash of the Beach or whatever the heck it was called when they raced the modifieds on the backstretch at Daytona on the apron. And Stefanik's the one that got wrecked at the end of the race and had a spectacular interview afterwards. Pissed right off, and it was great.
Stone face. Yeah. Yeah. That's when I first came across him. That I was watching that live because I was heading down to Daytona. I think a couple days after that.
Okay.
And I was watching the Bash at the Beach, and oh my god, dude, that was that was phenomenal.
Mike Stefanik is the only NASCAR driver with 9 championships. 9 championships in the modifieds for Mike Stefanik. So very cool.
Yep. He was the right choice to go in at this time around. I hate that he passed away.
Yeah.
We've got some weird synergy with this class. Not in a good way. I hesitate to even bring it up, but you mentioned Red was in the helicopter with Davey, and then Mike passed away tragically in a plane crash, and then Dale Jr. our next.
Well, hold on. Yeah, so I don't know about you, James, but I was a little bothered this year that we freaking nominated an iRacer to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
This guy is a moderate iRacer. And he's
part-time Xfinity driver.
Yeah, a couple-time Xfinity champion, and 26 Cup wins, something like that.
Yeah, he's okay.
Most popular driver, pretty much his entire career. I don't know. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets the nod. Big shock there. First ballot Hall of Famer. We talked about it before that I still stand by if Dale Jr. wouldn't have made it in the first ballot, they might as well just take everybody who votes, kick them out. They don't get to vote for the Hall of Fame anymore and tear the freaking thing down because it would be a travesty.
Well, I think part of it is who you go in up against too.
Yeah,
because this is the right time.
That's true. If Dale Jr. is going up against Richard Petty and his dad, he doesn't get in.
Well, if Dale Jr. goes in with last year's class, I don't think he gets in. So he's, this was the right time for Dale Jr. to be selected.
Hold on, who was last year's class? I want to.
It was Stewart, Labonte, Gibbs.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Dale Jr. gets in before Bobby Labonte.
He might, yeah. But Eric, you said it yesterday. You were surprised.
Dale
at how
Jr. gets in before Tony.
No.
Yes.
I'm not
doing it just to yank your chain. Dale Jr. gets in before Tony Stewart.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that argument with you.
I think you're wrong.
You
Guys,
said it yourself.
Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Twitter at TSuperspeedway, at James Cush on Twitter. Tell us, Tony Stewart or Dale Jr. on the same ballot, who gets in over the other?
don't think it's. I think
It's Junior, man.
It should be unanimous the other way. You're completely wrong. I'm not doing this.
No, it's
I'm
Junior. It's Junior. All right.
Not,
I'm serious. I'm not doing that just to rile you up. I think it'd be.
no,
Junior.
you said yesterday though you were surprised at how low his total number
Yeah,
was.
76%.
It's pretty low.
Who's
Eric.
voting against Dale Jr.?
I don't know. This in this specific class, he should have been pretty high. But remember Jeff Gordon? Remember Jeff Gordon got 99% of the vote. So
Yeah.
there's some a-hole out there who decided that Jeff Gordon
Yeah,
was
but
not going to get.
how does Jeff Gordon get that much higher than Dale Jr.?
Do we have to do this?
I'm not saying that Dale Jr. should get in over Jeff Gordon. I'm saying that Dale Jr. Maybe not.
Listen,
no,
Eric,
I guess I won't go there.
Eric,
Gordon definitely had
Gordon
definitely had the popularity too.
You love going on. This is a Hall of Fame, and
Yes.
fame and celebrity get you so many points to your total of getting you into a Hall of
Well,
Fame.
and I will admit that I guess it looks as if that the voting party doesn't feel that way, James, because I think Junior got in more on his qualifications as a racer and what he's done afterwards than his fame. Don't you? I mean, I think that 76% says that, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Dale Jr. is if you look at him, he is a many sliced pie of what gets you into a Hall of Fame.
Right.
He's a super talented driver, but that's not probably the biggest slice for him.
Yeah.
I think he goes in as an ambassador. I think he goes in as a mentor, a leader, a car owner, and a talent evaluator. I mean, there's so many.
Dale Jr. goes in a lot because he's Dale Earnhardt's son, and I'm not saying that because Dale Jr. is popular because his dad was popular. That's not what I'm trying to say here. He was in many aspects, but I think Dale Jr. earned that in that he was able to take the weight of the Dale Earnhardt fan base and survive it. you know,
he put not in it, Eric. It wasn't just the Dale Earnhardt fan base. He put the entire sport on his back and carried it for a season, maybe 2 or 3. I mean, he was that guy, and it wore him down.
Right. Well, he carried it, James. He carried it for the year after. Then he began to struggle, and then he re-shouldered it when he went to Hendrick.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did. That was the reincarnation of Dale Earnhardt Jr. And of course, it didn't come out that way. But
no, he was completely lost at Hendrick for many years. And Steve Letarte, if Steve Letarte ever gets into the Hall of Fame, it's not what he did with Jeff Gordon that will get him in.
Right.
It's how he resurrected the career of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and made him a playoff I'm not going to say a championship caliber driver. He made him a playoff caliber driver.
No, Junior's championship caliber era was in the 8 car. And
he made one run. He made one legit run.
And then he said shit at Talladega and ruined it.
Yep. Well, that was part of it.
That was the beginning of the downward spiral.
That's where I come in though, Eric. Is he made one title run. And that's fine.
I don't disagree with you, James, and I think you and I are more aligned on this than we seem to be.
Yeah,
it's just that your criteria for getting in the Hall is different than my criteria.
Yeah, I think it's about your career achievements and everything that you did as a driver on the track is like 80% of what gets you into the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And I think that Carl Edwards, I'm going to bring him up now because I'm really upset. The disrespect that the voters showed Carl Edwards on that ballot.
Yeah.
They should be embarrassed of how low, and maybe he burned some bridges that I'm just not aware of, and how he left, and that may be true.
Right.
But damn, dude, that guy was really, really good.
Yeah.
And not that he should have beat Dale Jr. You're not going to beat Dale Jr.
No.
In this vote, it's not going to happen.
Even if you're Tony Stewart. Just kidding.
Not if you're Carl Edwards. But I just I am shocked at how. I don't know. Did you feel that way when you saw?
Yeah, I mean,
his number. He's not going to get in. He's not going to get in for a couple of years, Eric. He's not getting in next year.
And it doesn't surprise me, James. I think that part of the issue with Carl is where his numbers are similar or exceed drivers that are in, like such as Davey Allison and whatnot. the problem with Carl is that he left by his own volition.
He chose, yeah.
Because he chose to leave the way he did, I think that has rubbed people the wrong way. And I think that they're going to look away from his accomplishments and look more at, see, you look at somebody like Davey Allison and you go, what could he have accomplished? And that factors into your decision. Alan Kawicki, you know, you look into what they could have accomplished.
Oh yeah, there's
had they not passed away.
Yeah, there's special circumstances for somebody like a Davey Allison because you know it's there, and
but Davey didn't get the choice.
He has that Dale Earnhardt Jr. aspect as well,
right?
I think.
Yeah, but Davey didn't get the choice. Kawicki didn't get the choice, whereas Carl got the choice, and I think because he got the choice, it's no different than this is a terrible example, but it's no different than a
it's what Calvin Johnson did, Eric. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Calvin
there you go. Yeah, thank you. That's better because I was going to use Survivor as the example. So good, that was better.
Calvin Johnson was at the peak of his powers with the Lions, and he played for the Lions and was like, screw that.
Yeah, yep.
And I think Carl Edwards got burned out with this playoff system. I mean, that had to weigh into his decision as well.
Right.
I mean, Carl Edwards is the length of my fingernail away from possibly 2 championships, and he was a runner-up again in 2008. I mean, dang, dude.
Yeah, he's a 2-time champion that wasn't.
Exactly, and he won. I mean, he's an Xfinity champion too. Yeah. I mean, he's got titles in this.
Shoot, he won the Xfinity championship when he was racing the Cup Series 2. That's hard to do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's just really good, and I don't mind that he didn't get in first ballot. I don't think he should have gotten in on the first ballot. But
if there were 5 here, he should have.
Probably.
If we were still putting 5 in, he should have gotten in.
Yeah, if he was the 5th guy. Yeah, he's not gonna. He shouldn't have been ahead of Stefanik or any of those guys. But
Carl's gonna have a tough time because there are always going to be people that are a little bit more qualified. I think
he's good. Yeah, he's gonna have to find that window, which is so weird. It's so weird. He doesn't have a lot of the marquee. He doesn't have the Daytona 500s either, which.
Well, and he's also completely left the sport, and not that he should be here campaigning. Not like Dale Jr. was campaigning to get in, but at least Dale Jr. is still around. We still see him.
Dale Jr. is a natural ambassador. He's been an ambassador his entire career, and he's going to carry it forward, and he's going to be great at it.
The publicity that the Hall of Fame is going to get between now and when he's actually gets to walk on the stage.
Yeah, NASCAR's got. Stewart, Labonte, and Gibbs from last year's class, and it's not like Tony's around a lot. He's racing all over when he's racing on those dirt tracks. Yeah, it's now qualifying NASCAR Hall of Famer Tony Stewart.
Stewart's still in the public eye though. At least there's a team named after him.
For sure. Yeah, he's around, but he's around in spirit more now than he was. He's racing a ton now, but yeah, I mean, everywhere he goes though. And he's around a lot. He goes around as NASCAR Hall of Famer Tony Stewart. Carl Edwards is not going to do that. He's, nobody's going to announce him as, hey, here comes NASCAR Hall of Famer Carl Edwards to fly this plane that he's going to take off on.
Would you be shocked if Carl Edwards doesn't get in?
Yeah, I would. He's got to get in. He's too good.
I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't get in. I agree with you that he should, but I would not be shocked if he didn't.
He's going to have to wait.
Yeah, he is.
Looking at those voting numbers, they're not going to put him in for a while.
So we got
3 years or so.
We have Jimmy won't be eligible next year or the following year. It'd be the year after, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is the 27th. So Dale Jr. retired. He retired in 2017.
So Edwards might get a decent window here.
Because Kenseth's not going to be going up against him either. But they put Rudd, which I totally disagree with. They value Rudd's career over Carl Edwards' career, and that really chaps me. I'm not happy about that one.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I would. I don't know.
I know that this is a celebration of 3 inductees,
right?
But
no, I think I agree with you, but it's tough because my era is a little bit more into the Rudd era than yours.
Yeah,
a little bit, not much.
But at the end of the Rudd era, my version of the Rudd era was when he was driving the Haviland car, the 28.
Oh yeah, see, mine was the Tide car.
I remember the 10. I remember the 10. But
mine was the 5 Tide.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's tough.
The Hall of Fame.
It's tough. I'd have to look at as much as I say that it's not just about the numbers. I'd have to look at the numbers again to really.
we
get where
we
I
were
feel.
messaging during this last night because Todd was a nervous wreck that Dale wasn't getting in, and,
Yeah.
and you were there like, come on, he's getting in.
Right.
But that was really great. Really great doing that in real time with you guys. But yeah, I just in the moment, I'm like, oh my god, that is so mad. But yeah, great class. Congratulations to all those guys. Though, seriously, I know we took but you know, like I said in our group last night, I love the Hall of Fame discussion, and
Yeah, I do too.
it always spirals.
Yeah,
for
it
me.
actually kind of sucks a little bit this week because there's so much other stuff to talk about because I want to get to some of the other stuff yet.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have unlimited time, but we don't. So, yeah, sorry guys. This one's gonna be a little bit long because we're probably like halfway through right now, maybe a little more than that. But
Yeah, we're getting close to.
we've got two more topics that are gonna take some time.
Man, we got past the Confederate flag quicker than I thought.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know. There's two on here still that are gonna take a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I love the discussion. I think this is it's fun to talk about the history. It's fun to
Yeah,
I mean,
we love it.
James, this is what started the podcast for us. This discussion,
This
us
stuff,
having
this
this
type of stuff, yep.
no, but this discussion on the
Yeah.
way to Eldora is what became this podcast. So
Yeah, exactly.
it makes
And
sense
then
that we like having it.
No, we just love it. I mean, I know you do, but it's really I get geeked up about talking about the Hall of Fame stuff. So
It's
when
Monday morning quarterback stuff because none of it matters. I mean, in the end, it's
it's
all
just conjecture.
subjective. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So
It's
great.
all subjective, but yeah, we and we have no sway or power in any of
No.
this, but we talk about it
You
more
and
as
I
fans.
are never going to be in that voting room ever.
No, God, no.
Never.
Please, and I don't want to.
No,
That's
me
what-
neither. God, no, I don't want to be there.
You think I want to be in there when I have to choose between Dale Jr. and Carl Edwards?
No.
Like that's not.
Well,
don't
I
wanna
wouldn't have
make
any
that
trouble because I know who I would choose. But
I would think about it painstakingly, and then I would choose Dale Jr.
yeah,
But
you gotta
I would
choose
have.
Dale Jr.
You got
But
to,
only
yeah.
76% did. Anyway. All right. We're going to Talladega this weekend. I wanted to just get a quick hit in here because we love Brendan Gaughan. Brendan Gaughan's awesome. Brendan Gaughan's
Yeah.
racing this weekend at Talladega.
Keeping on all four wheels, Brendan.
Yep, all four wheels. Yeah, last time he was there, he was airborne, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So, not much else to say there. Just a restrictor plate field is always better with Brendan Gaughan in it. So,
Yeah. Brendan and I are, we look the same, and we used to play basketball at one point. We have some common ground there. So Brendan's one of my dudes.
there you go.
Yeah.
We keep hearing talk about the 2021 schedule, and Road America is the latest name being tossed around at potentially getting a Cup Series date in 2021. Any thoughts on that, James?
Yeah, when we saw Nashville hop on the schedule, you could kind of see there's going to be some shaking around.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised at Road America. I don't
Do
know who
we
it's
need
what-
another
what-
road course?
Uh,
I don't feel like we need another
what's
road
it
course.
replacing? Well, here, let me ask you it this way. If we take a race from Texas and we go to Road America, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of where I'm coming in from this. Like, I don't take away.
I mean,
a
I guess I
Bristol
don't
race.
have anything against because I like the road courses. I like them less since we've had stages and we've had that discussion on here a few times. But I don't want to go overboard with the
I
road
think,
courses.
well, NASCAR is going to try to get a street race eventually here too.
Yeah, I'm okay with
I
that
don't
too.
think- Listen, we raced 36 races and an all-star race and a sprint unlimited
Mhm.
Busch Clash race at the beginning of the year. So we got 38 races to choose from.
Right.
If we run I'd say up to 5 road courses is probably the limit. 4 seems like we're pushing it, but
Well,
if we
here's
go
the
up
thing
to
too.
5,
Like, do you remember, James, when choosing a track to race a race on wasn't about is this going to be a good race? It was, is it going to be challenging or different or whatever? And that's how tracks like Pocono were successful because here's this triangle. We don't race in a triangle anywhere. This is awesome because we're racing on a triangle. Who cares if the racing's terrible? Now everything's got to be great
it's got to
racing.
be a great show. It's got to be made for TV.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
maybe I don't know.
That's where
Maybe
the
we're
sport's
in
going, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
where the sport's going.
I like that, but at the same time, it kind of makes me long for the old days back when we just ran a track because it was unique.
Eric, I'm worried that we're losing a Michigan date for this one because we're kind of in the same neck of the woods.
Yeah, we could be.
here.
You may not be wrong. The
I
only
worry
thing that
about
Michigan's got going for it, James, is that if the doubleheader works,
Yeah.
that could be an option for Michigan. If
Yeah,
you're in a
I just
camping
worry
track.
about how many times we're going to be racing in the Midwest with this. So
Yeah.
if Michigan loses a date, it's not the end of the world. But I'd hate to see it for the people that we like down there. So
Well, the other possibility is Chicago again.
that's right. Yeah,
Which I would hate to see. I tell you what, James, I know both of our hearts are in Michigan, but I would rather see Michigan lose a date than Chicago lose its date.
Yeah, you want to keep at least one race at Chicago.
I just like Chicago, man. It's a great track.
Well, and if NASCAR wants to go racing in the street, that's the rumor that they would look at Chicago, and then we might lose our Chicagoland.
I don't want to lose Chicagoland. I want them. The only thing I want changed to Chicagoland is I want a pedestrian tunnel under the start-finish line. That's the only thing it needs.
Yeah, this might not be the right take, but we got to stay on ovals. We just have to stay on a lot of ovals.
That's what the series is an oval series.
What it is. Yeah, we're not F1.
Yeah.
As fun as it is to watch races at Montreal, and I used to love that when the Xfinity Series was running up there. I thought that was so much fun.
Yeah, Montreal was a good track.
Yeah, I like those. I like the Truck Series running around in Canada too, because that's a fantastic race.
Oh yeah.
I just NASCAR has to be on ovals. It has to.
Yeah, they need to be careful.
I don't care if we go up to 5 though. I think that seems like a lot to me, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I'm good. I am 100% for taking second dates away to add tracks.
Yes,
just
me too.
Don't take only dates away to add tracks.
Yes.
I can't stand, even though the last couple have been good, I can't stand New Hampshire. But don't take the last date away from New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire's been really good.
Yeah, keep New Hampshire on the schedule.
Speaking of, did you see the images of the grandstands taken out in turns 3 and 4 at New Hampshire?
No, I did not.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird. Huh. Yeah, take a look at that.
I noticed Homestead was weird with the stands gone in turn 1.
Yeah, that was weird too. Yeah.
So
that's okay. Yeah.
All right. We are getting we'll save the rule change until Talladega. So we got some other news this week. This one might be a little bit longer discussion as well, James. We found out that the All-Star race is moving for 2020.
Hell yeah.
We're going to Bristol, baby.
Hell yeah.
Bristol on a Wednesday night for the All-Star race. 30,000 fans in attendance.
Oh no.
30,000 fans at the track where the air doesn't circulate. Perfect. Sounds like a great idea during a coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
Masks optional, by the way.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, that was also announced. So, but regardless of that,
what the hell are we doing?
I don't know.
There?
I don't know.
Oh.
But we got the All-Star race at Bristol finally. It moves from Charlotte. I don't know if I read the official statement as to why this was, or if there was an official statement, but I had seen that it was possibly because there was a spike in cases in North Carolina.
Yep. That's what I saw too. Yep.
So, but yeah, either way, we get an All-Star race at Bristol. I think this is absolutely awesome. Now all we need is the announcement that they're going to add the choose cone, because this would be the perfect time to try it, the perfect place to try it. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I want to see it.
And I bet you it's something we find out like the week of the race.
Yeah. Austin Dillon, man, that might be his legacy. Choose cone.
That would be awesome.
Good for him.
And the best part about this All-Star race at Bristol,
don't say it, dude.
We're going to get some new number placement on the cars, James. Aren't you excited?
No.
Aren't you excited?
No, I am beaten.
So here's the thing. You are not the only one, because Steve O'Donnell actually responded to it on Twitter and said, "Hey, calm down. It's a one race thing. Chill out."
It's always a one race thing. And then you guys do more stuff.
So James, I know you and I are going to go back and forth on this, but I don't hate it. I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
It's the lesser of the how many evils they had.
It's the third to me. So the first one is to leave it where it was. My number 2 was actually moving it to the front where the sponsors used to be, the contingencies used to be. And then my third choice was the back where it's going to be for the All-Star race. And if they move it to the rear quarter panel, I quit watching NASCAR. Because I don't want it there.
Yeah, I'm not enthusiastic about this one. It's like they buried the lead. They said, "Hey, we're gonna give you the." I was texting guys. I was like, NASCAR always gives us something great, and then they sneak in the BS that we hate. And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you the All-Star race at Bristol. Oh, by the way, we're gonna move the numbers off the doors." And it seems so stupid to get upset about this, but it bothers me. I can't help it.
Yeah.
And Steve O'Donnell is a great dude. I love him on Twitter, But he said that when he said that people have bigger things they need to be worrying about, I'm like, Steve, you can do more than one thing. I can be,
Oh, he got blasted for that too.
yeah, I can be pissed off about you guys doing this and care about, plenty of other things going on in this world. It only takes me a second to be super pissed. So that's where I'm at.
Here's the thing. The number's been in the same spot for what, 70 some years?
Yeah.
I get the sponsorship visibility, but do we really need to move it?
NASCAR race cars are identifiable by the numbers on the doors.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And now, I will say our buddy Barron Speedway and I had a very quick discussion on Twitter, and he brought up some good points, and he got me to expand my vision just a little bit. But I still can't. I just can't stand for it. It seems so stupid.
Here's a devil's advocate question for you, James.
Yeah.
When you go to the local short track, which I know you do,
Yeah.
I think it's been a little bit, but I know you go to the local short track. Does the number placement on those cars bother you?
Yeah, I like them on the door.
But does it? I mean, would you not cheer for a car because his number wasn't on the door? Because they are all over the place.
They are all over the place, especially in the late models. And they sneak them around, don't they?
It doesn't bother me there, but this really bothers me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I've always been cautiously saying I don't like Scott Bloomquist's cars. They look weird because there's no identifiable number.
Right.
Yeah, I got a local racer that races outdoor that we know, Jeep Van Wormer. His car's always got number all over the place too, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know, man. I'm open to seeing it. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I'm really curious what it will look like with 20 or so, 30 cars on the track with this paint scheme.
I'm very excited to see an all-star race at Bristol.
Yeah.
I mean, they could paint all the cars pink and lime green.
Right.
And I'd be excited just as I want to watch this thing.
I have not listened to the Dale Jr. download yet, but I'm assuming this was discussed on there.
Dale's not happy.
Yeah,
Dale doesn't like.
I figured he probably wouldn't be.
He takes the same approach. Let's see it. So
yeah, I mean it's one race. If everybody, let me put it this way, guys. I won't tell you not to complain about it. If you hate this, complain about it. First, give it a chance. Let them run it during this race, and when it's done or during the race, if you hate it, preach. Give it to them. Message Steve O'Donnell directly. Message everybody you know from NASCAR and say you hate it.
Phelps. So this leads into Phelps said that 80% of NASCAR fans like this current rules package.
Yeah, that's crap.
And we didn't put that in the total. We didn't put that in the show notes. And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And I became a keyboard warrior. I was like, "This is not. I will not stand for this." And then
that was calculated by the same group that calculated the number of people at the inauguration for Trump.
Yeah, that was. I know. I think I tweeted it, but Steve Phelps has had a lot of wins lately, and that was a big loss. That was a big loss because he got blasted for that take. So I don't know if the keyboard warriors can make a whole bunch of change in that direction, but man, if you guys can help me out there, much appreciate it.
There you go.
Yeah, we've had some really good, I think, with Todd in our messaging group, I think we've had some pretty funny content going through that stream because we've talked about some of this stuff and it's made me laugh when I come through it.
Right.
But man, I tell you, what a week.
Yeah, I know we need to get the discussion with Todd just out in the public. We probably couldn't have it in the public.
Probably not.
But people would probably really enjoy that discussion. We talk about it all the time. It's such an inside joke. But I mean, really, guys, no offense to you guys all that listen. We love all of our listeners. But James and I do this for ourselves. I mean,
oh yeah, we get into it. We get into it at least once a week. Seems like.
Yeah, this whole podcast is just for our enjoyment. You guys just get to come along for the ride. So
we had a disagreement on a Sunday a couple weeks ago, and it was just hilarious. It was like, Eric, what are we doing? I think it ended up what we came out like. We both like this stuff. We just
right.
I don't know. It was good. I like that stuff. I don't know.
There you go.
Why we make content right here.
We found out yesterday Dale Jarrett has coronavirus.
Yeah, he seems to be doing good.
Yeah, he was on NBC's broadcast yesterday, so that's good.
That's the first guy in NASCAR that we've seen, right?
Well, I mean, I mean, we don't know. We could have seen others, but NASCAR won't tell us.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that road tonight. This is all the things that are bothering James.
Yeah.
It keeps coming up.
Yeah, not much to say there. Hopefully Dale's doing well and
He's
recovers.
doing good. He's in high spirits, so
Yeah,
that's
deal.
good. And treatment for coronavirus seems to be going well.
Yeah.
I was reading some stuff today, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the corona. I don't want to make this the coronavirus pod, but
No.
I think Dale's gonna be okay.
We've had enough of those coronavirus
I'm
pods.
done with talking about that. I'm done. I'm done.
I'm with you. So with that, let's talk about Denny Hamlin and Corey LaJoie.
Yeah.
So there's first of all, I highly recommend that you guys. I don't recommend very often that you listen to the Sunday Money podcast, but this week's Sunday Money podcast is probably worth a listen because Corey LaJoie addresses this situation, which Denny Hamlin has rebuted on Twitter as completely false.
Yeah, I'm going to Twitter right now just to see if it's escalating.
Yeah, let's see. So if you guys have been living under a rock, Denny Hamlin and Corey LaJoie have been having Twitter back and forth over the past couple weeks. It started before Martinsville. Actually, it started back during iRacing, to be honest, when they were in more equal equipment, and Corey started getting cocky because that's what Corey does. And so anyway, it carried over to Corey was complaining about, I think, his Atlanta race, and Denny made a comment along the lines of basically calling Corey a crappy driver. And Corey took offense to it. They've gone back and forth on it, back and forth. And according to Corey LaJoie on the podcast this week, Denny threatened to wreck him at Homestead. Denny then messaged his team owner and a couple other people with his team and also threatened to wreck him. And supposedly, according to Corey, the team owner sent the information to Steve O'Donnell. Steve O'Donnell had arranged to sit down with Corey LaJoie and Denny Hamlin at Homestead to discuss it and tell them not to do that, or Denny will be sitting a couple races, a la Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth a couple years ago. And Denny says that didn't happen. Any updates, James, on the Twitters?
I didn't. Nope, we're clear. Denny just refutes that the story is not true. How Corey told it is not true, basically.
So Corey is doing the right thing in that he is getting publicity. He certainly is doing that right now. Yeah. But James, I know you and I've had this discussion with other people before, or about other people before. I feel like when you're not in the league of the driver that you're trying to start a Twitter beef with,
got to be careful, man.
That you just So first of all, Denny has no business arguing with Corey because Corey is going to make Denny's day a lot worse than Denny's going to make Corey's.
Yes.
Denny has a lot more to lose than Corey LaJoie does. That's one. Two, Corey LaJoie, I'm sorry, Corey, you might be a great driver, but you don't have the credentials yet to back that up. And don't even have the business to be arguing with Denny Hamlin.
No. Hey, Corey's got to be careful here because if he does get a big ride someday, it's not easy to go. You can look good. Ross Chastain has some of this too.
Yeah.
You can look good racing 25th to 15th sometimes.
Right.
But when you go from 5th to 1st, it's a whole different class of driver. Ross Chastain's learning that in the Xfinity Series right now just a little bit.
Yep.
And you got to be careful, man, because Corey's talented, but you said it, he's not there yet. Mm-hmm. But Denny's also got to be careful because he's, like you said again, he's got no business dealing with Corey LaJoie. I don't know.
No, I don't know why he's wasting his time with him. And to be quite honest, I did think it was pretty funny that when Denny's sitting there talking about how he's better than Corey, then Corey goes and beats him at Martinsville. Denny's track.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. And, I'll tell you what, James, I don't doubt that Denny got fired up and probably sent off some texts. He's fiery, man.
Yeah, and if you're Denny Hamlin, do you want to take that crap from Corey LaJoie?
No.
Exactly. You got pride.
Yep.
Denny should back it. Denny can back it up, man.
Yep.
He's a good driver.
Yeah. Denny's done his share of wrecking people, too. I mean.
that is true. Yep.
So I don't know. I think this, first of all, James, can you imagine Dale Earnhardt Sr. having a Twitter fight with somebody?
Oh my God.
For God's sakes, you guys, just freaking talk about it in person and get off Twitter with it.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
so stupid.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a great point. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're having a battle through text messaging, but we're publicizing it for everybody to see. That's all
Yeah,
it
we
is.
want
It's such a 2-year-old BS thing. For
Yeah.
God's sakes. And we're talking about it. We're giving them time on the podcast.
I know. Yeah, here we are. Yeah.
Ah, stupid. All right. Anything else?
Keep an eye on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If they make contact, it could be fun. Again, I'm all for. Oh yeah, don't forget about that. Thanks for highlighting that, James.
Yep.
I am all for a good battle and a good feud, but these guys aren't even in the same league as each other. It's a waste.
Ridiculous.
It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of their time. It's a waste of everybody's time.
Completely ridiculous.
Yep. So, all right. With that, James, we go to one of my favorite tracks on the circuit. One of my favorite races of the year. It happens to be on Father's Day this year, which means there is no one who's going to keep me from watching this race live.
Get that.
Yeah.
Family, get the hell out.
Yep. Talladega Superspeedway. It's the Geico 500 at Talladega. We got a rule change this week to start with. We'll talk about picks in a minute, but we got a rule change, and stupid me did not pull it up. So basically, we got rid of the aero ducts, and we reduced the horsepower on the cars a little bit. There were some questions.
They're going to knock about 30 to 40 horsepower off them.
Yep, they did a press conference or Q&A this week on the package and why they made the changes they did. And basically, it's about trying to reduce the speed.
Yeah. This is the Ryan Newman rule.
Yep.
If you want to put it that way, yeah.
Yep. They're also trying to get rid of tandem drafting, so they have slip tape they're going to have on the rear of the cars, so that hopefully the cars don't hook together. The removal of the aero ducts is also about reducing the pull between the two cars, so they can't lock together. So fortunately, NASCAR is not going to do the Xfinity thing and tell the drivers they're not allowed to do it. They're just trying to make it physically not possible to do it.
Yeah, you got to let these drivers drive.
Yeah.
Even if you make it as hard as possible, you got to let them go for it.
Yep. I'm okay with them trying to slow the cars down to prevent the lift, like when Newman hit the wall and got airborne like that. That's fine. As much as I enjoy a good wreck, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. The cars don't have any business lifting off the ground, even though it's pretty spectacular to see. And I mean, when it happens around a catch fence, it scares me, especially when we're gonna have fans in the stands again this weekend.
Yeah. I don't want to go through that Ryan Newman thing.
No,
That
I don't
was
either.
really bad.
I don't either.
I'm done with that. I
Yeah,
don't want to deal with that anymore.
As much as I enjoy a flip, if the cars stay all four wheels on the ground, there's less of a chance of somebody driving into the roof of one. So
That Ryan Newman thing made it so real.
Yeah.
For that, how many hours of time
yeah,
that it was like, holy crap.
let's
we
just
don't
keep
wanna
all four wheels on the ground. If we got to do something to make the racing, not hurt the racing, but keep the tires on the ground, I'm good with that.
Problem is we're not going to keep them off the ground. You
No.
can slow these cars down a second a lap. It's not going to. There's chances they're going to go.
Well, the thing is like Newman's crash, only so much of that was because of air. Most of it was because it's the same thing that happens every time a car gets turned right on a super speedway. The suspension's so soft on the left side that they start to flip. And it was already in that process of flipping when it hit the wall, and that's what lifted it off the ground. It was a little easier because it was going 10 miles an hour faster than what it should have been.
Right.
But it's still that wreck still is going to be very similar. Like you said, cars are still going to get off the ground. They shoot. Johnny Benson flew through the air at Michigan back in the day at 150 miles an hour. So
Right.
it doesn't take that much to lift one up off the ground.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But anything that makes it safer, that's good. They added a couple of new bars to the car. Basically just little stuff. You're not going to notice it at all watching the race probably, other than there may be less tandem drafting, which we're all good with that anyway. So,
Right.
with that, we made our picks last week. We had two races to pick from. James and I came out even. We'll run through them really quick. Martinsville, James picked Joey Logano to win. I picked Jimmy Johnson. Joey Logano finished ahead of Jimmy Johnson, so James got the point there. For the dark horse, I picked Christopher Bell. James picked Tyler Reddick. Reddick got the better spot there, so James gets that point. And then I came back at Homestead and picked Brad Keselowski over James's Martin Truex Jr. Keselowski finished ahead, so I got the point there. And James stupidly picked Bubba Wallace instead of Tyler Reddick when I chose
really
Tyler Reddick
It was
at
dumb in the
Homestead.
moment. It's dumb now. Yeah, it was bad.
And,
I'm not going to defend it. It was bad.
After 12 races, I lead James 14-12. So we're right where we were, just a couple more races in. So
Yes.
there you go. And with that, Talladega Superspeedway, James, you get the first pick. Have fun, buddy.
Yeah, it's a wild card crapshoot. I'm gonna go Joey. I'll take Joey here.
You're gonna take
Yeah.
Joey. All right. Well, I'm gonna do the thing I was gonna do then, and I'm gonna take the other Penske guy. And well, you know what? Screw that. I'm going Ryan Blaney.
Oh wow,
I was gonna go Brad, but I'm going Blaney.
that's fine. That's a good pick. Yeah, since NASCAR's made some changes, Brad has not been as proficient. It seems to be Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin
You know
lately.
who else is a really good pick here? Because you got to think Chevrolet. Austin Dillon's a really good pick here.
Yeah, Dylan's good.
You know,
Yep.
and he's too good to be a dark horse, so we can't pick him as a dark horse.
We can't pick him as a dark horse. It's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Just keep an eye on him because he could surprise you.
Yeah, I get the first dark horse pick, and I am going to do it because there's only a couple races a year I get to do it, and I'm going to pick Brendan Gaughan as my dark horse.
That's a good one. Boy.
This is such a
you know who I
crapshoot.
like?
You could pick anybody.
Yeah, you know who I like in these types of races as a dark horse? Michael McDowell.
Michael McDowell's a really good one. He was on my list.
Yeah, Michael McDowell, and I should start looking at him at Bristol more often too. He's been good there. He's always on my list. I only pick him like once or twice a year.
This is an easier dark horse race than a regular pick, I think, because
Yeah, there's less pressure on this one because these guys are going to ride.
I mean, you could here's a list of people you could pick as dark horses. We've said you can't pick Matt D, so we'll leave him out. But Chris Buescher could be picked.
Whereas,
Corey LaJoie finished third in the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Brendan Gaughan. I mean, crap. Anybody, you can pick anybody.
Ty Dillon. Yeah.
Anybody.
Ryan Preece. Don't
Preece.
sleep on Ryan Preece. I probably should have given that more thought. His average finish in his 2 races, 10.5.
Yeah.
So he's good. He'll be good.
I mean, even drivers that have won here, you've got Kyle Busch, who's like terrible average finish, but he's got a win here.
Yeah.
You know,
Kurt's always going to be pretty good. He finds a way.
Yeah. I mean,
Matt Kenseth, maybe. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Matt, but he's had some success on the big tracks.
got a win here.
Past,
he's in a Chevrolet. I mean, honestly,
That's
if you look at numbers, you go Brad and Joey because they've got the best numbers here.
Yeah. Yep. Denny
And
Hamlin's
as far
up
as
there.
wins, anyway.
Yeah, and Boyer's been good at Talladega.
Yeah.
So, he's a possibility. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, and no practice for these guys.
Well, and here's another one to watch out for, who is like nowhere on this list. Where is he? Way down at the bottom. But Alex Bowman, if you remember, won the iRacing race at Talladega.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's driving Junior's old car.
Correlation there, yeah.
I mean, even Bowman's a good choice.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it all just matters who misses the wrecks.
Who's the guy? So we got a guy driving for Spire Motorsports, and he's never raced in the Cup Series.
God, yeah.
What's his? I don't even know.
I don't even know. Oh, and I wanted to go back to that too because we mentioned the Confederate flag thing. So we lost a Truck Series team owner to the Confederate flag thing.
Yeah, he raced.
But nobody knew who he was. So big loss.
Hey, Eric, here's a fun game. Say Ray Cicerelli really fast, like 10 times, and see what it sounds like. Don't actually do it, but I'm just saying. Do that on the podcast. And listeners, say Ray Cicerelli really fast 5 times and see what it sounds like. I'll leave that where it's at.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry if he's listening.
So yeah, lots of choices for Talladega. But it's like this is like Disney for me, man. I love Talladega.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
Yeah. Todd's gonna be back at the track this weekend finally.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Todd's working up in the tower, guys. So yeah, if you guys I don't know, just enjoy them lining the field back up. Just pay attention to that this week.
Our boy, yeah.
Fantasy League, James. I know you did really well.
Yeah, I brought up the rear. But I was in good company because Ranger was back there with me. Todd was the winner. Barron Speedway second. It was pretty close to the front. Jay Wint keeps getting like really good runs, and then the KB show.
Which one are you talking about? You talking about Homestead? We had 2
talking
races.
about Homestead first. Yep, Homestead first.
Yeah.
And then I can do Martinsville real quick. I'll just tell you the top 3.
Yeah, I did okay at Homestead, just not great.
Yeah, you did good. And then Martinsville, you had second place. You finished behind Denny the Many, and then Todd was there, and then I was right behind Todd. So there you go. And then overall standings, Todd, he's got over 100-point lead over Ranger. I'm still ahead of you by a handful of points,
Yeah,
not much,
they don't give trophies out for where we're at, James.
but we do.
All right, shout outs. You said you got yours ready this week.
Yeah, so last week I came across a profile that was awesome, and then I couldn't find it on Instagram. But it's Motorhead Racing on Instagram. Wanted to give him a plug because he posts a bunch of paint schemes. He does paint schemes.
Okay.
Just a couple of examples. Recently, he posted Casey Kane, a concept scheme that he did a while back. Some Elliott Sadler concept schemes from McDonald's. Some cool stuff. But yeah, Motorhead Racing on all one word on Instagram. Go there. That's
Nice.
good stuff.
Cool.
Yep.
I want to do a shout out for Steve Phelps, just because I completely forgot. But back several years ago, I think it was like 2012. Steve Phelps was on Undercover Boss.
I remember that episode. Yes.
Go on YouTube and search that out. NASCAR Undercover Boss, Steve Phelps. It was great. It's good stuff. That's it. Just wanted to draw your attention
Great.
to that.
No, it's great. It's a great episode. I loved it. He was painting walls at Daytona.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. It's been a while since I watched it, but I remember enjoying it. So didn't have a clue who Steve Phelps was at the time, but there you go.
Now we do.
Yep. James, where can people find you on social media during the week if they want to talk to you?
At James Cush on Twitter.
You can find me at TSuperspeedway on Twitter. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can find the podcasts on there, old episodes, links to articles we've discussed, show notes, all that stuff. Check it out, thesuperspeedway.com. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and SoundCloud if you want to become a part of the show. I cleaned up the options, the tiers a little bit on Patreon, but if you want to become a part of the show, become a patron, you can do that at patreon.com/thesuperspeedway. We miss anything, James? We're a little long today. Not bad.
I'm tired. That was a long one.
Yeah, it's past James's bedtime, so we'll get him off to bed.
Yeah, it is. It's past. It's way past. Yeah.
We got lots of racing at Talladega Super Speedway this weekend. We got the Xfinity Series, we got the Cup Series, and ARCA's back this weekend at Talladega. So hold on to your butts and grab your ARCA brakes and enjoy some ARCA racing on Saturday. Talladega Super Speedway Geico 500 this week. We'll be back next week to discuss it and preview the next one. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.